Hi, welcome to Axiory's news broadcast. My name is Jeff Fretz. Here's the latest high-impact market news for the week ending March 24th. Cyprus was the center of focus last week, but we'd like to point out that despite the turmoil in Cyprus and weak economic data, Euro's sell-off was rather limited. The latest news regarding Cyprus is that the parliament approved 3 of 8 measures on late Friday to secure the international bailout. A solitary fund will be set up through nationalization of pensions. Capital controls will protect the banking system when banks are due to reopen on Tuesday. A restructure plan will separate bad debts and troubled banks. However, the parliament still needs to vote on the plan to raise €5.8 billion. Latest reports show that likely scenario would be 20 to 25% tax on deposits more than €100,000 at the country's biggest lender, the Bank of Cyprus. Cyprus president flew to Brussels on Saturday for talks with EU leaders. The European Central Bank said Thursday that it would cut off liquidity to Cypriot Bank on Monday if an agreement with the European Union and International Monetary Fund on an alternative bailout solution is not in place. The EU and the IMF have offered a €10 billion bailout loan to Cyprus, but insisted that the country find a way to raise €5.8 billion in exchange for financial aid. The Federal Reserve announced Wednesday that it will leave monetary policy unchanged in spite of recent signs that the U.S. recovery is gaining traction, citing concerns over high unemployment levels and risk from tax increases and federal government spending cuts. Speaking at the end of the bank's 2-day policy meeting, Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke said the central bank may gradually wind down the pace of its bond buying, but only after the labor market shows signs of being on a more stable footing. Now the most important upcoming fundamental news for the week starting March 25th. Market participants will be watching German data on retail sales on Thursday amid concerns over the economic outlook for the Eurozone and an Italian government debt auction the same day. The U.S. is to release a flurry of data including reports on durable good orders, home sales, and consumer confidence. The euro gained ground against the dollar on Friday as sentiment on the single currency was boosted by hopes for resolution on an alternative bailout deal for Cyprus. The euro found support after Greece's third largest lender, Piraeus Bank, agreed to acquire the Greek branches of Cyprus banks to protect them from crisis in Cyprus. Meanwhile, political leaders in Cyprus prepared to pass legislation to needed secure a €10 billion bailout from the European Union and the International Monetary Fund ahead of Monday's deadline. The dollar was lower against the yen for a second day on Friday as investors took profits after a speech by new Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda disappointed expectations for indications that more aggressive easing monetary measures were imminent. The yen slid lower against the euro on Friday as sentiment on the single currency was buoyed by hopes for an agreement on a bailout deal for Cyprus ahead of Monday's deadline. Besides developments in Cyprus and a flurry of data in the U.S., Japan is to produce official data on retail sales. Finishing up our broadcast is the multi-trader section. Today's multi-trader strategy is Mohammed Investor FX1, which is one of the average risk strategies. It made a 3.8% profit last week, and today we have chosen its monthly gains for the last 3 months. During the last 3 months, the strategy achieved these gains, and the performance is rising. January was the worst month for this strategy, but it was able to stay profitable with a profit of 0.86%. The strategy gained even more in February, finishing with 16.62% and achieved 7.64% so far this month. All the strategies with information about performance and other characteristics can be found on our website. That's it for today. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.